Hey there, just a quick iPhone video to show you how to set up these AD200s along with the ADB2. I guess I gotta look here, that's where I'm looking over here and I gotta look here. Okay, so AD200, let's grab one. Here's the base flash, no head. You have two head options if you want to just use this by itself. You've got the Fresnel head, which just looks like the front of a speed light. How that works is you'll see it's got connectors on that side and no connectors on that side. Right here is where I'm looking. You have to match that up with your AD200. See where those connectors are right there. Okay. We've got little posts on this one. We got little holes on this one. Make sure the connectors are going to line up. Drop this into where the holes are and slide it sideways. So I'm going to use this to release it. Just like that, put it back on, click, it's in, okay? Same thing with the bare bulb head. So press this, take this off. The bare bulb head, we've got the same kind of connectors. Just need to make sure that we line them up. Boom, done, okay? Release here again. I'm going to put the Fresnel back on for a second, so I'm going to take these off, put this back, put the Fresnel on. Alright, Fresnel's on. To turn it on, we got battery in here, right? Yep, battery pop out, battery back in. The power switch is here on the side. Push it straight up and do not pull it off because that's a really pain in the butt to fix. As you can see, it has a modeling light with a Fresnel head. If you come over to here, it's the bottom right button. You hit that, modeling light is off. Turn it back on. Okay. On the back, up here in the upper left-hand corner, it's where it shows. This is all flipped on the video here, where it shows the radio antenna. That shows that you're in radio mode. How you change that is you look here, it says mode / and a Z button. That means short press changes mode. Long press changes Z. Z is the communications with your transmitter. So if I long press this, all of a sudden I've lost my radio antenna. So it's not going to talk to your transmitter. Long press it again, it's going to come back up with radio, and it's going to say channel 2, that's the channel that you're operating on, and it's going to say group A or B or whatever. That's the group that this particular flash is assigned to. If you're going to be ganging these together in the ADB2 bracket, I'd put them both on the same group and on the same channel. I personally like to use channel 2. I feel that channel 2 is cleaner than channel 1. Channel 1, because we're working on the same kind of frequency that portable phones and Wi-Fi and other stuff is working on. Sometimes you get some interference on channel 1. I haven't seen it on channel 2, so I tend to try to use channel 2. Alright, so again, recap. Radio mode, channel 2. This is set to group A. How do we change that? Up here in this button up here says GR/CH. To change the group, we just tap it and it cycles through A, B, C, D, and E. If we press and hold it, the channel button will light up or blink, and we can use the wheel to change that. Okay? Now, how do we get the transmitter? Well, it's my transmitter. It's in my hoodie. How do we get our transmitter to trigger this? We turn on the X Pro. X Pro is set to, can you see this at all? Yeah. It's hard to see on this cell phone. But set to channel 2, and group A is set to manual right now. I would change the mode button. I'd press the button next to group A. I would press mode, and it's going to go to 2 lines. It means off. Press it again, and it says TTL. Press it again, it says manual. So it depends if you want to shoot this in TTL or manual. You would use the mode button after you've selected your group, because each one of these buttons on the side of the transmitter correspond to A, B, C, D, and E, your different groups, and then you can change it from here. So, right now, my transmitter says Group A is on manual, 128th. Let's take it to 164th power. I did that. If you look on the back of this, it says 164th power. If I want to change that again, look at that. I'm turning the wheel and it's changing on the back of the flash. Pretty cool. I'm at half power now. I'm going to take it back down to 64th. I want to do a test button. There's a test flash fire button. Boop, boop, boop. It's blind, everybody. Okay? So, that's how that works. Also on your transmitter, and I wish I could see it a little bit better on the cell phone here, there's a button along the bottom that lines up and says sync. If you want to use high-speed sync with these, you do have to enable that here on the transmitter. And you press sync, and up in the upper right-hand corner, you're going to see kind of an octagon with an H and a lightning bolt. That means it's in high-speed sync. It means it'll allow you to shoot your flash at faster than 200th of a second. And you can always turn that off as well. So, okay, base operations on this. Let's take a look at how we hook this up to the ADB2. I'm just going to turn everything off. All right. The ADB2 is right here. So it's a bracket that bulbs go in the front, flashes go in the back. So this attaches to the top of your light stand. Boom, boom, boom. I hate how these cell phones keep changing the exposure. Like, whoa. Okay. Same thing as you have on like the heads of your AD200. You've got these little bump outs that have connections on them. That's how the flash lines up. So you take off whatever head you've got on, take it off, and then now make sure that these are lined up again. And you're going to hear it click, and it's going to feel tight in there. Plus, I should probably tighten this down, huh? There we go. Now it's not going anywhere. All right, I want to do the same thing with my second AD200 if I want to use two of them together. I'm just going to make sure that these are all lined up. Make sure it's flush, pop it over, and it's good to go. Turn this one on, turn this one on. Okay, make sure that they're on both on the same group, on the same channel, and they are. Now, we're not done yet. We have to put the bare bulbs in the front of this. So you grab your bulb, and you'll see on your bulb, it's got a little red dot on it. And that is how it lines up inside the head that comes along with your AD200, these things. But how does that correspond to what we've got going on here? Because I don't have a red dot on here, right? To me, a little bit of a design flaw. They should have put a red dot on these. I'm considering getting a red Sharpie and just putting it on here. What you'll look, though, is at your bulb, you'll see 3 of these are the same thickness and one is kind of smaller. It's thinner. If you look at the holes up here to match, there's 3 the same thickness and one smaller. I just make sure the smaller post is going in the smaller hole. Press it in. Okay? Grab the other bulb, and same thing. That smaller hole is at the top. Okay, we've got both bulbs in here together, so you can see them side by side. We'll turn this back on. Boom and boom. Now, if we want the modeling light to click on, if you look on your transmitter, to the far right, it says modeling. Look at that. Crazy. And we can go test fire from here. We can change the power using the center wheel. Just making sure that if we set these to Group A is highlighted, so we highlight that by pressing the button that corresponds with that group, and turn the power up and down. Ta-da! And remember, again, if you're outside and you're trying to shoot high-speed sync, which I avoid. I mean, I've taught how to do high-speed sync for many, many years. It's been a big part of what I do, but it's also something I avoid because going into high-speed sync does rob power, because instead of doing a single flash, it pulses. Be able to time out with your shutter. You end up losing the equivalent of about 2 stops worth of light to do that. But it's a nice trade-off if you're out in full sun and you need to shoot 2.8, f2.8, and your corresponding shutter speed is 3200th of a second. You know, it's a nice tool to be able to have. Just understand that I try to avoid it whenever I can because it does rob power. But anyway, to get there, you have to press the sync button. And then now I've got my little octagon with the H and the lightning bolt in there. All right? So hopefully that answers all your questions. If not, let me know, but at least that's the basic setup. As far as how do the modifiers fit in here, you'll see. Probably should turn off the modeling light because it's bright. Modeling light off. You'll see that there's 3 tab holes in here, and that fits a Bowens mount modifier like the MoBD portable beauty dish. It's got 3 tabs on the back that fit in here. Twist and click. You'll hear an audible click. It's going to be in there rock solid. So hopefully that answers your questions. If it doesn't, let me know.